Hey, what's up, guys? Got another new video here for you, Tuned In Sports. My name's Bryson,
I'm Steve.
and today we've got an awful special video for you. The Crimson Tide are national champions. Once again, this is the 7th championship in the last 13 years since Saban's been there. They've won 7, and I believe I heard that it was their 16th overall national title. I could be wrong, but I know it's in that ballpark at least. So, obviously, I'm happy, especially with, everything that happened this year and how bad my pro team is with the Eagles, and, the Thunder are supposed to be crappy. The Cubs are trading away all their players. We'll see what the Bruins do, but, it's nice to win in something.
I would agree.
Yeah. Dad would like to know what that's like.
I would love to know what that feels like. So.
But it's nice to have a team that's relevant in something. And we were definitely more than relevant. We were forced to be reckoned with all year long. And I just was really, I was really happy with how we played all season long in the midst of the craziness with the virus and everything. As a matter of fact, not only that, but outside of Saban having a couple of false positives, I don't even think we had any. I know there weren't any games canceled on our end because of COVID on our side.
Right.
The games, like the LSU one, I think, and maybe one other that got moved, I think it was because of the other. I know for sure the LSU, I don't know about the other one, but the LSU game, it was moved because of them.
Right.
So we even dodged that bullet.
Yeah.
So that was really good. But overall, I'm just really happy with how we played. I feel like Ohio State, obviously they had some difficulties when the game came. I feel like losing their running back on the first play, was definitely issue.
Yeah, for sure.
For
Didn't
them.
help. Did not help.
No, and it didn't help. And then they also lost some other players throughout the course of the game. But in some respects, I feel like that's gonna be the case with any of the teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're gonna have injuries. Hell, even Alabama, they had Allen Battle or I think his name is Allen or something Battle. He wears number 9. He got injured. He got called for targeting at one point on Fields.
Right.
Or I think it was on Fields. It may have been on another player. So he got ejected in the first half, and that definitely had somewhat of an impact as well. So it's unfortunate, but we won, and there was a lot of people that had great games. Mm-hmm. Mac Jones, he had that one fumble, which I don't necessarily blame him for that fumble, because he got slammed. He didn't even have time to turn around and the guy hit him. So, right. You got to hold on to the ball better, but it happens to all of them when you're not expecting it. And especially at Alabama, how often is he seeing that kind of pressure? You know what I mean? Where he's not even able to turn around before somebody's right in his face. Right. He doesn't see that too often.
No.
So I'm not saying he doesn't, have any experience with it, but I'm just saying he's not used to that, and anybody can make those mistakes. I see it at the pro level all the time with the top quarterbacks even. But apart from that though, he played lights out.
Right.
Didn't turn the ball over again. As soon as he made that turnover, he marched him right down the field to score a touchdown, bounced back in the best way possible. Didn't even look like it fazed him. No. He just went out there and kept trooping. Mm-hmm. Najee Harris, he didn't necessarily blow anybody away in terms of his rushing stats, but he had a lot of receptions out of the backfield. They threw it to him on a lot of plays. He had, I think, 2 or 3 touchdowns total. I know at least one of them was receiving, and then I think he got 2 rushing touchdowns. Devontae Smith, holy crap, 12 receptions for I think 213 yards in one half of football is one of the most impressive performances I've ever seen.
Yep.
Especially in a national title game. Holy shoot.
Yeah, no, that was amazing.
I mean, that guy was all over the field. They didn't have an answer for him. Didn't matter who was guarding him, who wasn't. I mean, in some respects, I feel like part of it was I didn't really see him trying to double him.
No.
Which I understand. I mean, in some respects, when you play like Alabama, I mean, they got weapons all over, so it's not necessarily a situation where you can just afford to leave people open. But at the same time, I mean, when he's torching you like that, what are you going to... I mean, what? Oh, we'll just line it up the same way that we've been doing. Mm-hmm. Put 24 on him again. You know,
well, I think the big key there, too, is that the offensive line didn't allow Ohio State to get much in the way of a pass rush without bringing backers.
Yeah, that's true.
And when you have that situation where you allow a guy like, Mac Jones to just sit back
or
there,
anybody for that matter.
It doesn't even have to be Mac Jones. It could have been anybody. If you allow them time to be able to survey the field and look at their options, I mean, because like you said, there was many times where nobody was even within 3 or 4 yards of the guy.
Yeah.
They're running, and he's throwing to guys wide open enough you and I could have hit him.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, I mean, the game planning was good. I thought Sarkisian did a nice job figuring out what they needed to do to be successful last night outside of, just having better athletes or whatever, because, I mean, Ohio State's got athletes.
Yeah, I was going to say, because that's one thing. It's like, generally with us, it's like, well, when you start to play against some of these other schools, maybe you start to notice a difference in the athletes. But Ohio State is usually, right behind us, if not maybe a couple spots behind us in the recruiting year to year. They're usually in the top 5, top 10. So it's not like it's a world difference between the two. I'm not saying that, we don't have maybe some better athletes. That's not possible. I'm just saying that, it shouldn't be that big of a disparity.
No.
Because they're always one of the top recruiting schools as well. Mm-hmm. And it's similar with them. It's like, okay, well, they lost Sermon on the first play, but then they got that Master T guy who was, the main scorer for him on offense before Sermon came in. So it's not like this guy can't run or anything. I mean, just load up another 5-star athlete and put him on the field. That's about what it is when you get to that level.
Right.
So, I mean, but it is, I mean, I was really happy with that. And like you said, I mean, there was a lot of plays where, with Mac Jones, not to take away from his performance, but, like he said, I mean, there was a number of plays where he was throwing it to guys that were wide open, whether that be because the defense screwed up or because they just had great designing of plays.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of credit needs to go to the offensive coordinator for the way that he managed the game and the way that he put his players in the best position. And, something I talk about with the Eagles all the time is when I watch the Eagles games, I see the people that we have that are top tier talent not being used correctly or not being used enough. We don't put the ball in the hands of the playmakers. We're just throwing it to whoever. That's not something you see here.
No.
I mean, what's his name? Devontae Smith was targeted 15 times and he only played essentially a half.
Yep, that's all he did play.
Yeah, because he got injured coming out of the second half. He had the issue with his finger. I think he maybe caught 1 or 2 more balls, but apart from that, and then, but I mean, again, 15 targets, 215 yards. But
in one half of play.
In one half of play. But again, that's because they design plays for him to get him open. Mm-hmm. And I don't see that on the Eagles a lot of times. I just see, we'll just run this and hopefully somebody can do something. Yeah. I mean, so a lot of credit. All I'm saying is a lot of credit to Sarkisian. And same thing with Najee Harris. 22 attempts for 79 yards, 3.6 average rush. Wasn't really that great compared to what he normally does. Mm-hmm. He didn't, they did a pretty good job at keeping him at least contained in the running game. So what did they do? They found ways to involve him in the passing game. And he ended up having 7 receptions for 79 yards. So even when they take one thing away, he found a way to get the playmakers and the top players and stuff involved in another way, which is great to see. And especially when you consider that he's got the job at Texas now. So, I'm not saying that he's incapable of still coaching this game or anything, but going into it, I was kind of wondering, how much of his focus was going to be on, preparing the absolute best game plan and everything for the. Again, I'm not saying he's incapable of doing it. I'm just saying, divided attention. Obviously, as much as he wants to say my focus is only on this. He's got some responsibilities over there too. So I'm not sure how much of that I 100% believe. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if I completely believe that, his focus was solely on this game. But the way that he had him playing and stuff looked like the exact same thing from before he had a new job. So,
my guess is that he let them know he was going to take the job, but that he wouldn't be starting until after this game is over. So, I'm sure that was kind of in the game plan because he wouldn't have. He looked awful prepared to me.
Yeah. Well, and I respect him for still sticking in and doing it too, because for instance, I think it was Lane Kiffin a handful of years back. It was the same scenario where he took a job
to Tennessee or something, right?
I don't know. Well, it was after he left Tennessee that he came to us. So I think it was the Florida Atlantic one. But nonetheless, I'm pretty positive it was Lane Kiffin. He took a job at another school before our championship game or whatever, and he didn't play. He didn't coach in the game, in the championship or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, man, that sucks. I don't remember if it was a championship game or a playoff game or what, but he just was like, I'm out.
Right.
And I was like, as far as I'm concerned, you owe it to the players and to the school, out of respect for the school, out of respect for how much money you made. If you're not done, then you're not done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter if you took another job. You're still on staff to finish this one because your job's not done unless they're not playing another game. And they were. So all I'm saying is I respect Sarkisian for sticking around and doing this. But great game overall, Yep. Defense played good. I wouldn't say they played great, but I wasn't expecting them to. I was expecting this to be a Florida-type game or Ole Miss where we were going to have to put up 50 points. That's kind of what it's been all season for the most part. When we get against the teams with good to really good offenses, we had to score a ton because the defense struggled. But with that being said, we have so many new people. There was hardly any returning players. So I feel like they got better as the year went along.
Right.
And the defensive coordinator did a good job at the end. And he did a good job in this game, too. Mm-hmm. I mean, 24 points. Ohio State's, they got athletes. They've got explosive weapons and explosive players and stuff. And I feel like he did a pretty good job for the most part at keeping them at least in check. I mean, 24 points is still a decent amount, but, you know, compared to the Florida game where we gave up 48 or whatever, and Ole Miss where we gave up 45, and I mean, I definitely think that he's done a good job. And speaking of which, I really love on our defense Connor Barmore, or Christian Barmore,
Right.
That guy is he was all over the field on defense. I think it was number 58 he is. Yeah, 58, the defensive lineman.
Right.
That guy, I don't know.
Yeah, he was impressive.
I don't know where he's at in terms of, is he a freshman, a sophomore, junior, senior? Is he going to be probably leaving for the draft? Is he sticking around? I think he's a young player, so I don't think he's leaving yet. Because I thought I heard them say that they didn't really have any new players or like any returning players from the starting lineup from last year. So
Right.
That guy was impressive for sure. I really enjoyed his performance. And also, lastly, it was great to see Jalen Waddle out there just giving it a go. I mean, you could tell every time he caught the ball or did something, he was limping off the field.
Yeah.
So he should not have been out there.
No, he wasn't definitely ready for the game,
But, I mean, the fact that he was like, dude, we're in the national championship. I'm going to give it my all to be out here and stuff. I mean, that's the type of player that you want to have. You know, if I was like a NFL scout or something and I was trying to draft somebody, you know, that would score a lot of points with me.
Mm-hmm.
To see him out there giving it his all when he's obviously quite a bit less than 100%.
Right. No, I agree.
I don't know what his plans are, if he's going to the draft or if he's coming back. I think he's only a junior, but he may be a senior, but I think he gets the extended 5th year or whatever because of the injury. So I think he can come back if he wants to.
Right.
And you know, as far as that goes, I hope he does, but I don't blame him for saying, I'm going to go where the money's at.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if he does return, that's great. And I hope he can stay healthy next season, wherever.
Right.
And if he goes somewhere, I hope he can go somewhere where he has a good chance to win and is able to succeed.
No, I agree.
Because he definitely gave it his all. I mean, I was watching him out there in that game, and I was like, holy crap, this guy, he has no business. You know, he shouldn't even be doing this. And he ended up, I think he had three catches or something, and he was out there on quite a number of plays too. So I mean, all the respect in the world for that guy. Talk about giving it your all for your team. That was just amazing to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's shocking to me that they actually even cleared him to play based upon what he looked like.
Yeah.
Truthfully, I was surprised that they, were considering putting him in the game when it looks like he was barely walking good enough to be out there.
At times, yeah. Generally what would happen is he'd, run and be normal for the play, but then at the end of the play, he'd be limping off.
Right.
So he'd give it his all on a play, and then at the end of it, over to the sidelines.
If nothing else, if he decides to bolt for the NFL, I'm sure he'll get picked up.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm sure his draft status may have went down a little bit, but the other side of that coin is that he's showing his toughness by being out there when they know he's not right.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows you a lot about the guy's heart and how much the game meant to him to be able to say, hey, I don't give a crap that I can't do it at the top level. I'm still good enough to be out here playing.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like you said, he did make some catches. He had 3 of them for 34 yards. So whatever that, you know, little over 11 yards a catch or whatever. So, I mean, that's, you know, what more do you want out of the guy, truthfully?
I was gonna say.
And it wasn't as if he was really needed,
No.
you know.
No.
So, I mean, like you said, kudos to him for giving it his all. And
No, I mean, his
Trying to-
his 3 catches wasn't the difference between, you know, 52 to 24. I mean,
no, not at all.
I mean, as a matter of fact, I mean, he didn't even score a touchdown, so he didn't even make 7 points. I mean, he caught a couple balls, but I'm just saying, I mean, it's a similar score or the same score whether he's on the field or not.
Right.
So, I mean, that, but, you know, what that kind of tells me is that he probably is leaving for the NFL. And that he's doing that because this is his last time having a chance to play for Alabama because he's planning on leaving. That's kind of what that hints to me.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, given the, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say with a guy like him because Alabama's in the finals so often that he may look at it and say, "Oh yeah, I'll give it one more run."
Yeah. Well, the only reason I say that is actually for the same reason. Because Alabama's in the finals so often, if I'm coming back next year, there's a good chance I'll be in it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So why am I going to risk my health and possibly screw something up worse to come out here when we're probably going to be in it again next year?
Right.
So for the same reason, I can see it both ways.
Yeah.
Because, I'm going to Alabama, so there's a chance that I could come back, and we'll probably be in it, so I'm not too worried about, you know, coming out here and giving it my all to help this team, and then I'll be back healthier and stronger than ever next year. Or, you know, hey, this is my last time going to be in this uniform. But, you know, like I said, it just seems kind of weird to me that he would, you know, kind of risk it all, so to speak, when he's coming back next season. That's what kind of led me to believe that wasn't going to be the case.
Well, he's a junior, so he does have one more season of eligibility.
Yeah. Well, and also, like I said, with the rule where they have if you take the injury extension or whatever, and that gives you another year of eligibility to play. But I don't know. I mean, I hope he comes back, but if he doesn't, you know, Godspeed to him, and hopefully he can, you know, take his talents to the next level. And like you said, you know, he may fall back in the draft status a little bit, but, you know, it's kind of a dual-edged sword. I mean, let's say he's in the position of Devontae Smith or Trevor Lawrence or somebody like that, you know. Congratulations, you're the number 1 pick. Have fun in Jacksonville. You know? So, I mean, all I'm saying is him falling back could equal him ending up on a better team, and as a result, more success. Mm-hmm. As opposed to, hey, you're going to the bottom of the league. Good luck out there.
Right.
I mean, if you even have a quarterback that can get you the ball. So, I mean, it's a dual-edged sword there. But anyways, guys, you know, it was a great game overall. Really enjoyable. Didn't feel bad about beating Ohio State. You know,
no, definitely
I enjoy beating them. And I also enjoyed getting our win back because they knocked us out of the playoffs the first year that the playoffs happened. Ezekiel Elliott, speaking of nice, oh, man. I mean, you talk about something that's upsetting. I mean, he was on the team that knocked Alabama out. Then he goes over to the Cowboys. It's like, unfortunately, he's not winning any.
He's not winning any brownie points with you.
No, he's not winning any fan appreciation points here. You know, fantasy team is about as close as I'm getting to rooting for him.
Yeah.
So, But anyways, it was great to get the win back. Great to beat Ohio State, and also great to beat Notre Dame. I mean, shoot, you want to talk about, if ever there was a year where maybe we could convince Steve here to turn into an Alabama fan. Well, started off by beating Notre Dame and Ohio State, 2 teams he can't stand. We're trying. Say, come over here. We beat teams you can't stand all the time. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. If you like the content, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, check out our other videos. We still got NFL videos coming for the playoffs and stuff, as well as we had all the college content throughout the year, so you can go back and check that out. Hear our weekly thoughts on stuff. And we got NBA, NHL, MLB, all that fun stuff coming. So lots of stuff to look forward to. So with that being said, Bryson,
I'm Steve.
See you guys in the next
out.
video.